So, as you probably all know, each week we welcome to the NfG stage one of our highly talented members and exciting guests to bring you something designed to benefit you and your business. Our next guest is the founder and director of Human Decisions Ltd and has spent over 30 years working in the corporate world before setting up her own business. During that time, she supported organizations as a qualified HR professional and then took her recruitment expertise, understanding of organizational dynamics, change and transformation into the world of executive search. She's currently in the middle of a unique and groundbreaking MSc in Integrative Counselling and Coaching, which will enhance her offerings to clients in the future, especially those with more complex wellbeing issues. Our guest is more ambitious today than in her earlier career and has plans to develop tailored online courses in the future. I bring to you Tina Neve. Good morning, Tina.
Good morning. So this morning, I'm looking at sort of managing boundaries in an ever-changing world and how to deal with some of the employer and employee expectations triggered by a change in our working conditions. And although I've got employer and employee here, I think that can be sort of stretched in some ways, because for some of us, we are suppliers to other organisations or individuals, and also our clients who we work for are potentially impacted by this as well. So the world of work has changed significantly and will not revert back to pre-COVID times, I think is one of the key messages for everyone at the moment. It didn't take me long to find some examples of where this is happening. The Financial Times showed that Deloitte's was closing 4 offices and will shift to remote working. The BBC is considering how working life will change forever. And I think one of the biggest ones is that working from home is here to stay, suggested a study of businesses. So the initial lockdown, subsequent restrictions and current lockdown have set in motion changes that cannot be undone. So what I want to focus on particularly that comes out of this is remote working and the impact it has on us and the boundaries that we have between our home and our work life. Boundaries are the sort of rituals, habits, routines that many of us used to have that gave us not just a physical but a psychological boundary between our work and home, whether that's leaving for work in the morning, whether it's, traveling by car, whether it's sitting in a train. There were those elements of our working day that gave us a clear delineation between the sphere of work and the sphere of home. And what's happened for many is those have all gone. And since March, when we first went into severe lockdown, and I know some people may have sort of changed a bit or have worked remotely beforehand, is that novelty started. I think for a lot of people that worked at home, there was the novelty of working at home, but a lot of those novelties have become habits since March. And these new habits are not always healthy from a business or a personal perspective. The image of working at home is often put up as being a nice quiet space, that separate office, where you can go and focus on work and leave it. But the reality for many business owners, the reality for many business owners, employees, suppliers and our clients is that there is no distinction between work and home office. Quite often it can be at the kitchen table. That can lead to a temptation to keep working into the evening or starting early, especially opening devices and responding to incoming messages when a lot of those previous boundaries would have been in place. For example, if you needed to get a train home or you had to negotiate, a drive, etc., then there would have been a natural barrier where you wouldn't have carried on with those messages and responding because you knew you had to go elsewhere. I think the remote working also, there's that psychological feeling because you're sitting at home that you potentially have to sort of answer the phone immediately.
For a minute, Tina, I don't know if you can hear us.
As well. So what can we do? I think there needs to be some critical reflection of our own beliefs and how they may have changed when we work from home. Do we believe that those from home work less or take advantage? You know, is there more time for work because we're not commuting? Or perversely, it could be I've had more time at home with my family and I don't want to go back to the way I worked anymore. To manage the situation, I think it's really important to keep communicating and not make assumptions. Don't assume that everyone else is on the same page as you are with where your boundaries are and how you work. If you've got people working for you, you might want to make clear delineation that whilst you might be working more, that your employees don't need to. I think it's important that messages are clear and simple. And also, lastly, don't communicate to control. I think it can be really easy, especially if you think that people are working less from home, that there's a whole control thing kicks in. But I think if you trust people, they will come with you more than if you're trying to control everybody. There's always one person that will be the odd one out, but don't treat everyone as though they are that one person, but be prepared to deal with them if it's difficult.